Ephesians, I love the verse. It says that he might present to himself, so that he might sanctify and cleanse her with the washing of the water by the word. Back in my religious days, I thought that was only meant going to the Bible and reading her Psalms and verses and stuff. But I think if you look at what the Bible says, I think it's more than that. It's speaking to your wife. And one of the things that happened with Jane, because of her background, she never felt beautiful enough. She never felt pretty. She always felt ugly. So one of the things that God started showing me is that the way I spoke about her, the way I refer, because I used to make fun of her, believe it or not, because she was always very timid. We would go shopping for a dress or something, and she would be very insecure about her looks and about her, the way anything fits. So we would shop forever and ever trying to find these dresses. So I would just make fun of her. But as God started working in my life and I understood what it meant to wash the wife with the water, I started speaking life into her. One of the things I started doing is what Songs of Solomon says. I like that phrase. And I like King James. It says, thou art fair, my love, thou art fair. So I continued to speak into Jane and washing her with the word. I was calling her, hey, you look good, you look beautiful. And it took her, I would say, about 3, maybe 4 years for her to get to a place of healing. Because of her background, because of what happened to her, she wouldn't believe me. And of course, my attitude had to change. Even though I was joking around with her, it was still hurtful to her. To me, it was just, I'm making fun. I'm not hurting her. But the washing with the word is just that. I think as how we refer to our wives, a lot of guys complain that their wives are a nag, their wives are this, but that's what they're speaking. The Bible talks about the power of the spoken word, the power of the tongue. So as I started understanding that, I started speaking life. I stopped calling her a nag. I say, you crazy. Because she would come up with all these things, and I'm like, that's crazy, Jane. Don't say that. So I stopped that. I would say I've learned to stop that. And as I started speaking into her, calling her beautiful, thou art fair, my love, thou art fair, she started changing. I remember one day, it was 3 in the morning, and God woke me up as I was meditating on this word. And I remember I went downstairs, I got a bucket of water, I got the essential oil and the soap and stuff, and I washed my wife's feet. But as I was doing that, I was, saying, hey, you are beautiful, you are, you're gorgeous, you're healed, you're holy. And I remember grabbing the bottle of essential oil and just pouring it upon her. And we just started praying and we just started crying. And that was that. I think the funny part about it, during the day, the kids were like, Mom, what's that smell? What's that smell? She's like, I don't know, but it was the essential oil I had put on her because I put the whole little bottle on her. Anyway, but after that, all her friends started saying, hey, Jane, did you change your beauty regimen? What's going on? Because her face looked shinier, her demeanor was different. And I think as we wash our wives with the word, again, speaking life into them, telling them how beautiful they are, not making fun of them, obviously, and also reading the word to them, I think my words really got to her to the point where she started believing that she is a beautiful woman. So her attitude started changing, her demeanor started changing, and even her behavior started changing. So now when we go shopping, it's not... my attitude definitely changed. It's not something dreadful that I used to make her life miserable. I enjoy it. She's a quality time, which was another thing. We were spending time together. And at the same time, I was there with her. So now when we go shopping, I'm present. I'm letting her know how beautiful she looks. I encourage her and I make sure that she hears what she needs to hear. And that has really helped us in our relationship. And I think washing with the water is also, as you learn what God tells you as a man what to do. The Bible talks about dying to self. The Bible talks about how we need to lay down our lives for them. I think as I started doing that, it started changing the dynamic of our relationship. Because those little things that I used to nitpick at, those little things that I would complain about, I stopped most of the complaining, and how God started changing our interaction. So I think it's very important that as husbands, that we do speak life into them. To be very careful what we say about them, how we refer to them, even with the kids, what's our attitude before the kids? Because the kids, I have 4 boys, so the kids used to pick up on that language. So I think it's important that as men that we speak life into them and that we continue to grow in the word ourselves, and that we continue to believe what God says to us about dying to self, and we look for those practical opportunities to die to self, that we may be able to love them.